I can remember kids would want to play like cowboy and Indian, and I would want to be the horse. And I was the only kid I knew who wanted to be the horse. I can remember being next to the couch where my father had the end table, and he had a drawing board that I was dearly in love with. I hope I still have it somewhere. I would take the drawing board and set it up as a corral door, and I'd get underneath on my knees and hands, and I'd have my mom bring like the water in a bowl so I could drink it out of the bowl like a horse, and then I would start whinnying, and the force would come out from underneath the table, and I would just like clap my hooves against the drawing board and come out on my hands and knees, romping around, whinnying around the living room. Although I was born in the Los Angeles area, my parents moved back to their home state of Montana when I was 6 or 7, and I was immediately in love with Montana. I can remember the smell and the feel of the earth. There's a plan in the beginning that comes out of a terrible, frightful state of chaos in a visualization or a dream, where I have to scribble thoughts down in my journal quickly, and it really seems absurd, and it's like every time I start something, I say to myself, who the hell do I think I am? Why do I think this has any meaning at all? My grandmother came from Norway and homesteaded on the high plains part of Montana. And my grandfather was shanghaied on a merchant marine ship when he left Austria when he was 16. Took him several years to get to the United States, but they did meet. Ultimately, they settled in a tiny town of Valier with two intersections in the town, and both of my parents were born there. And my parents grew up together, and it was in some way a no-brainer they'd end up together. He went to World War II first. He was a heroic bomber pilot, actually. When he came back, they married in Los Angeles. They moved down from Montana to LA and got married there. Basically, I remember as a child feeling when I looked at an animal and our eyes caught that the same force was moving through us. And I was really quite shocked as I became an adolescent to find out that the organized religion, particularly Christianity, that I was raised in, set these animals apart, which I just thought was abhorrent to me. I was really shocked. It was so obvious to me that all the life force was running through all of us.
No, that's okay. They're fine.
30 seconds in here, and we'll get the bread out.
Should I take this fettuccine out?
No, I'm gonna do the thing here. It's really easy. I was living in the central coast of California, married to a farmer. I knew I had to leave. It wasn't a good relationship. I visited a friend in Los Angeles who happened to be working with John, and I met him in the summer of 1975. We drove to Montana in 1979 after I'd had a hysterectomy. And I didn't think I'd marry again, but his proposal was quite romantic in that he said that he always thought he would be married only if there were children involved, but knowing that I couldn't have them was the perfect reason. So we got in the VW van, we drove to Montana and got married in a bar right next door to my grandparents' restaurant.
Yeah, I was going to say the part with the dog cracked me up.
Here we are. Animal life at Camp Talaki.
You wrote something that was so funny. Here it is. I run and jump playfully through the woods. I'm a tireless great hunter. That was it.
That was the dog.
I love
I
that.
did these little like things for the dog.
She's speaking for the dog.
I'm just resting now. Jackie's my friend.
Oh gosh, I love it.
Oh, meeting place, campfire building.
Please come to our Easter mother-daughter tea.
I know.
It's just ridiculously cute, isn't it?
Look at this image.
See,
Isn't
I
that
love
frightening?
I love it.
That's because you came from Beaver Cleaver. Oh, this is too much. This is me here. Oh, it's scary. I looked like an old woman. I was like an old, wise woman when I was 12. It's scary. Oh, yeah, you told me not to sing it.
Yeah, but now you got to.
Now I've got to.
Yeah.
Woony coony cha, woony coony cha, woony. Ay 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 icky ay kaye, ay 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 icky ay kaye, woo, woo,
That's how you handle the next phone call.
woony kichi. Arriving here and having to learn about seasons, learn about being snowed in, worrying that my animals would die because I didn't know how to take care of them. They'd been in boarding facilities before. All of this just unfolded, and through the stillness of being here, engaging it and learning from whomever I could, that was another part of the opening within me that allowed true feeling and pain and fear to sit on it and be with it and see where it took me. I had to learn how to do that to even a more profound degree here. Most importantly, because I was so out of my element, and the people around were not rushing to come and befriend me here. Truly, it was a very, very lonely time. It was almost like being cast out in Indian culture, sent away to die or something. I was very bleakly alone, but I had developed the interior side of me into where I could turn that into a time of intense creativity. There is a real corollary between riding a horse and painting for me, in that they both evoke a tremendous amount of fear of beginning. The beginning of any work for me is in response to my outer life, and I might take on some idea at the moment and set up 5 canvases and see if the idea fits on a small one or a medium one or a large one. I have no idea how long it's going to take. I have actually canvases sitting in my studio that are 5 years old, that are just like sitting around. Then there will become a pocket of time where I'll have walked by one day, and the time is there and the outer world experiences are covered, and I go, oh my God, that's exactly what happened 6 months ago, but now it's transmuted into this possibility of something new. The transmutation of the possibility of something new is so key. It's the challenge. So for me, it's a healing process of getting the imagery out through art. It's the wildness within and not ignoring it, not forcing it back down in to a level of denial. This process can lead to really profound images coming through, as with my first wolf image. I knew nature was moving through me. I had just set myself up as an antenna to receive it properly so the force could take all of my technical skills, all of my passion about it, and my discipline of releasing it, and it worked right off. And those are the rare moments in art and in life. I just know what I was put on earth for, and that is to commune with nature, have it work through me, be still enough for me to feel the patterns coming through, to create as profound an image as I can. I have to do it anyway. I might as well have it be about affecting people and talking to them about what I've learned about the wilderness areas at stake. The car called and they were screaming into the phone. They were dancing again on Sunday.
Primarily, and it's just, it's really, it's magnetic.
Well, thank you.
Here's my friend Rick Nackman.
Wow, this is great.
Oh, yeah, Deborah was like, whew, painting this morning. My dark blue. We were, Brian and you and Linda and I were photographed in front of it, actually.
Well, I kind of like when you were
Do you? Okay.
one on each side. Spread out just a little more. This is wide.
I'm told the light is perfect here. Thank you for coming. Collaged the decks. I've actually dug these pieces of iron out of the earth at this ranch.
I've never seen anything like this.
Well, it is a bit different. So I really have always enjoyed the crossover between ultra refined and ultra crude. There's much more to come. My studio is being this little cabin, so I'm glad you respond to it. Thank you, Lorena. So here I am, bending over in this howling wind, cleaning horses' feet and thinking about the last painting I did. It was just a marvelous moment. I mean, it was. All of my purposes came to one at that moment. The contrast now that I see when I go back to Los Angeles is such that I'm really glad I had 20 years there, but I'm really glad I'm not there now. There is a sense of working through my own fears with even getting ready to ride selection. Even getting ready to paint. There is definitely a ritualistic breathing activity that has to be accompanied with getting the lunge line out, getting the saddle out, engaging him. There is the same ritualistic activity that goes on with setting the paints up and the brushes and taking the last breath before you actually force yourself to do it. What I worked through on selection in terms of my fear of physical injury, fear of failure, fear of everything was about riding on the edge and forcing oneself through fear. But the work is about something, and it's not casual. It's not just an image. It's not a horse. It's not just a landscape. And the complexity and the chaos out of which it comes bespeaks who I am. It's interesting because there's a certain knowing that happens because my process is so intuitive that closure comes naturally. And when it's done, it's done. And I walk away, I walk into the yard, interact with animals, take a few breaths, take a short walk, whatever, come back. And when I know it's done, it just fills me with light and joy. It's incomparable, really. I actually think of the wilderness as being the soul, our soul that we have cast aside. And in reclaiming it, reintegrating it through honoring other species, not obliterating them in their habitat, we are revaluing ourselves and the wholeness that we can become. Ride your horse along the edge of the sword. Hide yourself in the middle of the flames. Blossoms of the fruit tree will bloom in the fire. The sunrise is in the evening.